I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak. Welcome to the forecast with Gary Lezak. That's me. I'm here today with David Naster. We're going to talk to you in a few minutes because you are like a comedian.
I'm not like I am.
You already made me laugh.
I am.
All right, we're going to talk.
And a lot more, too.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll talk to David in a minute. But listen, this podcast, the forecast with Gary Lezak, is sponsored by Results. Are you doing hand signals? Results Personal Fitness. Results Personal Fitness. David, look at that right there. See that? Okay. That is Results because I've been working out with David Schlossman for 20 years now. And twice this week we did chest, we did back and traps, all the personal trainers there. It's at near Head House, 135th and Metcalf. Results Personal Fitness. They are a great place to go visit and get into great shape. Thank you to David Schlossman for helping me do just that. All right. Also, if you want to sponsor this podcast, contact Sandy Cohen. Sandy at 810WHB.com. Sandy at 810WHB.com.
Great guy, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Sandy's a great guy.
Yeah.
Good buddy.
You know him.
Yeah, great guy.
That's amazing. I've known him for a long time, too. He is. He's a great guy. So contact him, all right, and sponsor this. Like this, okay? Subscribe to the YouTube channel here, and we'd love to have you. Once again, it's the forecast with Gary Lezak. Oh, my, we've been on a roll the last few weeks. We'll get to David in a second, but we're going to talk about long-range weather forecasting. It's called weather2020.com. The LRC, the weather pattern is cycling regularly. On our first podcast, we made a forecast that Super Bowl week, there would be a storm coming through Arizona where the Super Bowl is, okay? So that's going to be a big test. I expect a storm to come through Arizona, some rain there about 2 to 3 days before the Super Bowl, right around that week. How do we know that? The weather pattern is cycling regularly. Go to weather2020.com and learn more about it. And we got a great, we have a patent pending model that you can use for your company on making wise, profitable decisions. So if you're a weather-sensitive business, contact us at weather2020.com. All right, it's time to get to our guest. In the last few podcasts, we talked about Weather 2020. We talked about last week with my partner, Andy Caraway, alcoholism and addiction, a great podcast. You need to go watch that or listen to that. And today, it is the first week of the new year, and I thought it would be best to have this guy come in that is a comedian. He's got a book. It's called You Just Have to Laugh.
The manual.
Yeah, the manual. Did I get, in my version, is it the manual?
New book.
This is a new book, because I've got You Just Have to Laugh. Now we have the manual.
Open up and read the table of context so you see the subjects we get at.
Okay.
That's it right there.
Right
read
here?
the subjects we get at.
Humor. Here are the chapters. All right. Look at this right there. Okay. This.
Now read it so they know.
Humor and laughter.
The difference between the two.
Right. There's a difference.
Oh, yeah. Yes, scary.
Laugh at
Is
yourself.
there a difference between snow and rain, Gary?
There's a difference.
Same.
Yeah.
But similarities.
One is solid and white, and it causes all kind of problems. One is wet, and it's beneficial, unless it's too much.
And there's jokes to be made there, but I won't.
Laugh at yourself.
Key.
Okay.
That's the key.
I know. I am with you there. We'll talk about that subject. Illness and injury.
Very important to laugh through that.
Right. And does it heal you?
Yes, it can.
I can't wait to talk about that. Tough jobs.
Very tough jobs.
Bullying.
Yes.
Danger.
Yes, dangerous jobs.
Depression and suicide.
Very important.
Death and grief.
The hardest one to get through.
The
possible.
benefits.
Yes.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 podcasts to get to today.
Absolutely. And don't forget this one. This is one. This is one I just finished.
Okay. This new book is called You Just Have to Love. That's the chapter.
Read the subtitle.
Okay. The Meaning of Life.
And then read the back cover. That's what you did.
Oh, my God. Award-winning author David Naster gives Nobel Prize winner Albert Einstein the explanation he searched a lifetime for. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, on love. What love means. The meaning of life and love. The answer is in that book.
Did he need to know that?
Well, the exhum.
You knew Albert Einstein?
The exhumed is underway.
You're that old?
We're exhuming is underway.
Oh, my gosh.
And a couple mediums. We're trying to get a hold of him.
Wow, this is a lot to go through today. Now, I have a little cough. I feel a lot better. I'm 100% better, except for I have a little lingering cough. Coughing is like the same level as laughing. So if I cough because you make me laugh too hard, have you noticed?
No, it's not. Did you know 20 seconds of laughter is worth 3 minutes of rigorous exercise? Scientifically proven. Dr. William Fry.
Wow.
20 seconds of hard laughing is worth 3 minutes of rigorous exercise. If you don't believe me, you want you and I to laugh now as hard as we can for 20 seconds?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
You know? Oh, come on. Are you serious?
No.
Oh, is that 30
The
seconds?
producer's laugh. We got him going too. And
Is that 30 seconds?
Oh, buddy, we just lost 4 pounds.
Oh, my God. Oh, I feel it. Wow.
20 seconds of hard laughter is worth 3 minutes of rigorous exercise. Scientifically proven. That's a fact, Jack. I always tell audiences, I can make you laugh till you cry. If I can make you laugh till you're skinny, I would be worth a lot more than I am.
There you go. That's amazing.
That's if I now humor.
Yeah.
Humor is completely different.
Right.
Humor is all the way you think.
Okay.
In a joke, that's all the way it is.
I agree. So it says that you were a theater and psychology major in college.
University of Kansas. I went to. I was actually a psychology major, and I figured I'd rather make fun of people than help them. I became a comedian.
Wow.
That's a true story.
Oh my goodness!
And then the more I found out about how humor and laughter help people, everything I learned about psychology started coming out. And so that's why I went after all those tough subjects. Why humor and laughter help you get through it. They don't cure it. You can never cure fear. You can never cure sadness. It helps you move through it.
Right. Now, 2 podcasts ago, I talked about the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Actually, there's 5 now. Did you know?
There's a 5th one. I know. I've got that book, The Fifth Agreement. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That was rude to interrupt the guest. Excuse me.
You're the guest. You can interrupt me all you
That's
want.
what I forget.
Okay.
I forget.
This is your segment.
I'm not used to this doing my own podcast.
I know. Usually you do your own podcast, and it's okay. I'm letting you go. But in the 4 Agreements is be impeccable with your word, which is don't lie to you or yourself or others, and be, that's without sin, okay? Don't lie. Don't make assumptions. Don't take things personally, and always be at your best.
Yes.
Okay, so don't make assumptions, don't take things personally, and always be at your best from 2 podcasts ago is really what you're saying is you just have.
They're completely different.
But you say you just have to let that.
Gary, they're different. Gary, they're different because I studied that guy. I know.
Okay.
They're different.
I understand the difference. So I want you to tell me the difference. But you said in chapter 2, I'm just getting to your chapters here. Okay. It says chapter 2, page 26, and it's 10 pages long. Laugh at yourself.
Key.
Okay. So if you're laughing at yourself, that means you're not taking yourself so seriously. Okay, so tell us why this is so important.
When you laugh at yourself, when you laugh at the dumb things you do, all of a sudden you don't bring any shame to yourself. When you laugh at the dumb things you do, and then all of a sudden you go, I'm just like everybody else. I'm no better, I'm no worse, and it humbles you. And that way, when you can laugh at yourself and laugh anything, any emotion you're carrying doesn't own you. You own it.
Right.
Because you're laughing at it. You're outthinking it, and you're looking it in the face and laughing at you.
Right.
That's the same thing that humor does in bullying. Can we get to that right now? Okay. If somebody comes up and says something to you, again, that tries to be rude, you outthink them. I've had somebody come up to me and say when I was bigger, well, let's get to the workout stuff later because I lost all this weight. But when somebody would come up to me and go, you're fat. And I would
How did you take that?
Your eyesight is perfect.
Wow. Thank you. You are correct.
Here's what that does. What that does is that lets them know not only you don't bother me, and also I can outthink you. I'm way ahead of you on that.
Right.
That's why you have to laugh. See, now if I felt bad about myself being fat, if I didn't like myself being fat, and that bothered me, then I'm going to strike out at that person because I've got all the anger inside of me. I feel fine about myself. You say something, you're fat. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and see, I also said you're fat and go, no, I'm not.
Right.
I'm a nutritional overachiever.
Oh, there you go. You overachieve in nutrition. You really did.
Vertically challenged.
But now you have really
proficient.
lost a lot of weight.
47 pounds.
Wow. That is amazing.
47 pounds.
Yeah, when I saw you get out of your car today, I was like, my gosh, look at David.
Look
He
at that.
looks great.
Thank you.
So, but it's not what I think, remember?
That's right. I'm the guest today. He's the best. Yeah, I love
You
it.
got to think that yourself. But no, that's fascinating. In my career, I go back to way back. This is like 25 years ago when I worked at Fox 4, lots of years ago. And one of the anchors I worked with, we were at a Christmas party, and we had this tape that I thought was the funniest thing ever. I laughed so hard because this anchor would say, most definitely, most definitely, most definitely, most definitely, most definitely. Every interview, every show, lots of times when I'm talking to this person, and I don't want to expose who this person is because I don't want this person to take it personally again. But
Because he would most definitely.
at the party, when it came up to that segment where it was like 20 most definitelys in a row,
Yeah.
the crowd's laughing, but this anchor was not. And I felt bad. I didn't realize it was going to be taken so personally and not realize that there was a funny side to that. That's why I did it.
Great point, my friend. And here's what it is. If you're going to tease somebody, you better know them and they better know you.
Right.
Somebody didn't know that he takes himself a little more seriously than that. That is a secret, and all the time.
Well,
you
I
have
knew
to know,
that.
but you have to know
But
that.
I thought, because we worked together, I thought it was going to be okay, but it was not. 'Cause
How did you get out of that? Did
oh,
anybody
oh,
apologize to him?
3 weeks of the silent treatment from this person, but I had to suffer the
Gary,
consequences.
I think that is a great point in doing that. You know,
But I didn't take that personally. I just
a
went,
lot of
"Oh, wow."
times guys like to tease. Men like to tease because they want to see what you got. It's busting your chops, and they want to see what you got. And when you come back to him and let you know that,
Yeah.
then it doesn't bother you. I have a buddy of mine that said, I said to my buddy, "Hey, Mark, thanks for paying for the meal." And he said to me, I know since you're a Jew, you'd never pay for the meal. Now,
Amazing.
Now, I know him. He's well.
Right.
And I said, well, you see, that shows you how smart we are because people like you will pick up the check.
Yeah.
See, and I come right back at
That's
him.
amazing.
And see, that's a problem. When people tease each other, sometimes you're not really sure if they're teasing or they're not teasing.
Right.
Or if they mean it or they don't.
Right.
The secret, ladies and gentlemen,
Good
the
point.
secret
I want to
is
hear
this.
the secret.
You have to know them, and they have to know you, and
Right.
have to know your intention.
Right.
If you bust chops with you and I will tease each other, we know, hey, David's just having
Right.
fun.
That's good.
Gary's just having fun.
Right, exactly.
But if we don't know each other, most definitely
Right.
they're going to get upset.
Right. There you go. Most definitely.
They're going to be upset.
Absolutely fascinating. So you've been an American comedian. You've been on Norwegian cruise lines.
Norwegian, Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
I've been on them.
Okay, on these cruise lines, and I have been on cruises, I think 3 of them now. I wish I would have been on 10 more because I just really love them. But we went to a cruise in the Caribbean, and then it was when I first met Andy, really, and then we won the bingo game where we won a free cruise for 2, believe it or not. That's a whole other story.
Wow.
But so we went to Alaska, and then we went on one other Caribbean cruise, but Mexican Riviera cruise. But the comedian on these cruise ships, I mean, if you haven't been on a cruise before, the comedian makes or breaks the cruise. So because it's like you look forward to going to the first night. I don't know how many nights you came on before a show, but you come on and the comedian sort of says, "Hey, everyone, how you doing? We're going to get started on this cruise." Tell us how that was for you, and was it fulfilling? That's a lot of years, 25, 30 years of being on cruise lines. It had to have been at least some fun for you.
Well, it was fun, and you make a great point. So I had to go on opening night, which is not easy because people just traveled all day, and I get there, and so I would say to them, did you go to the safety meeting today? Did you worry? I said, I never worry because I tell you what makes me feel safer than anything, that life vest, that I'm stranded in the middle of the ocean. It's not the life vest that makes me feel safe. It's the whistle on the life vest. Of course, they're laughing because I'm going.
Oh.
And I said.
Is this before the Titanic movie?
I said, I'm not going to be rescued by a ship. I'm going to be rescued by a school of dolphins.
Oh, there you go.
And then I say, don't play with their blowhole. They don't like that.
Oh.
Unless you got singles, but that's another joke. Now, what I did right there was made a joke. And I said, there's a joke right there for the big kids. And that's humor. And I said, see, that joke for the singles joke You got mom and dad. Your kids don't get it. If they said, what does that mean? Go, he's just being funny. He's just being silly to do that. That's humor right there, to do over that. And I said, and then I added to that joke later and said, when you blow the whistle, all you're doing is calling the sharks in for a feeding frenzy.
Yeah, there you go.
See, I did that, but then that didn't get the big laugh about the dolphins because people are afraid of sharks, so I let it go. So it's my job on the cruise ship to welcome the people because, they're not an audience. They're guests. And you got to remember that as a comedian.
Interesting.
I got to keep my comedy on a leash.
Right. Yeah.
I can't do whatever I want to say and do because those people are the guests of when I was with Norwegian Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean. Great people. They're guests. I got to treat them accordingly.
Wow.
And make sure that they laugh.
Yeah. And did you have fun doing it?
Yeah. It's a blast. Are you kidding? I saw more sunsets than I ever thought I'd see. It's beautiful. Beautifully. And the buffets is why I got so fat.
There you go. Yeah, no wonder. And now you don't do cruises anymore, and you look at what's happened to you. 47 pounds.
47 pounds, buddy.
That's amazing. That's
Not only
great.
that, the other day, Gary Lezak, you know what I did, man?
What?
300 push-ups off the ground.
You?
300 push-ups off
Not
the ground.
on the ground, but off the ground.
I'm on the ground.
So your hands were off the ground?
Yeah.
So you were in the air.
That's a whole new podcast.
So anyway, did you really 300 push-ups?
I did 3 sets. I did 4 sets of 30, 4 sets of 25, and 4 sets of 20.
Man, that is great.
In over a period of 25 minutes.
Could you do 30 right now?
I could.
I know we're not going to do it because the camera's not going to see us. But
you want me to move the mic? I'll do it
we
right
can
here.
both, one of us at a time get up here. I can do 30 push-ups.
Could you?
I can, but 300 push-ups is a huge, great workout. I mean, David Schlossman at our sponsor Results would tell you that 200 push-ups is a great workout. So if you get to 300, even if it's 5 sets of 30, and that would be 150, and 15 sets of 10.
That was after a 3-mile walk.
Well, no wonder you lost 47 pounds.
Sure.
So
yeah, but Gary, you and I both know you want to lose weight. The secret to losing weight is not doing all that. The secret what goes in your pie hole.
Right.
That's the secret.
Right. You got to work out, but you also have to eat healthy.
Yeah, and smart. You got to eat smart.
Right. I've got a really good friend, Maria. She is a nutritionist, and she's helped me stay healthy by going through my whole thing. But that's a whole other podcast.
And you know what I drank to stay healthy? I drank the coffee from Camp Lejeune.
There you go. From Camp Lejeune.
Don't you know about all the lawsuits with water?
So one of your chapters.
He didn't even get that.
I didn't get it. It went right
past him. Right past him.
So say it again.
The Camp every other commercial is either to try to upgrade your Medicare or sue Camp Lejeune for the water.
Right.
The military guys say, see, the water was the problem. The coffee was fine. Okay. Actually, the coffee's so dark it could be water.
And be careful. No wonder you're moving so fast. So tell us about this chapter, Tough Jobs. What is that in there? Tough
jobs would be cops, firefighters, first responders.
Wow.
And jobs that they did. I had a podcast that I did with especially being here in Kansas City with Mark Williams. Mark Williams was the last guy pulled out of the Hyatt alive. He was under 10 hours. The guy that pulled him out, a part of the team.
This is in the 1980s.
1981.
1981.
1981, July 17th, 1981. Part of the team that pulled him out, his name was Ray Wynn on the Kansas City Reserve Fire Department. I had them meet on camera 31 years later.
No way. Wow.
And Mark, here's an example. People have to remember about humor is Mark Williams, they pull him out after 10 hours of being under concrete and steel. His legs, Gary, are over his shoulders like a contortionist. They pull him out, and the first thing he says is they said, how you doing? And he said, look at that. My Timex took a licking and kept right on ticking.
No way.
That's exactly what he said.
Oh, my gosh. That's
exactly
amazing.
What he said.
Wow, and you brought them together.
How
did you decide to do that?
How did I decide to do it? Well, Ray Wynn's a Kansas City, Missouri firefighter, and I started interviewing firefighters, how humor and laughter help them get through a difficult time. And then I interviewed first responders, and here's the key. They have and cops have the most incredible, funny senses of humor because they are in a gallows situation. That's why they call it gallows humor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's called gallows humor. So they have to find a way. And as Paul Nauberger said, a great friend who was an EMT, he said, David, we're not laughing because it's funny. We're finding humor to work through our emotions so we can do our job.
Wow.
So the laughter and humor, Gary, what it does was it frees them. Remember I said if you own it, it doesn't own you? So when you start laughing at it, you now own the situation. You're not emotionally involved, and you can do your job. Because if you see something, what happens is we get so paralyzed by fear or sadness, we can't move. When you laugh at it, you own it, you flip it around, and you can, at the moment, you can do what you don't see with firefighters and first responders and EMTs is later after the scene, they are crying.
Right.
They are upset.
Yeah.
The emotion, they know to flip it around. That's the value of humor.
Wow.
And laughter.
You made me think of something because, I've visited people in the hospital over the years. I've only had to be in the hospital a few times myself, but I've visited people in the hospital, and there seems to be a theme from the patient, most of them, because some of them are miserable. Yeah, I'm sure you've
and they were miserable before they were sick.
Before that. But a lot of people that can laugh at themselves. Andy's dad, sometimes when he's in the hospital, I watch him interact with the nurses. He often finds humor and he sounds like he's trying to be a comedian because he's trying to make his situation as fun as possible.
There you go.
I mean, I've noted, now you just brought that up, that most of the time that seems to be to get through it, that's an important factor.
Very important, because again, if you can get paralyzed by the fear or the sadness or even anger. You can get paralyzed by it. When you laugh at it, it's gone. Once again, you own it.
Right.
It doesn't own you.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty deep.
That's where the psychology part came into me, and that's why Gary, I didn't dream this stuff up on a mountain. I've talked to so many people that have helped me get through it, helped me understand it, and then you can do it. Now, that's a great point. When you go to see somebody in the hospital, you better know them. Okay, you heard me talk about my friend Ray Wynn, the guy that pulled part of the team.
Right.
I go to Ray's house. Ray was dying of cancer. He did die. He died of 3 different cancers they think that happened that he got off the job. Anyway, there's Ray. I didn't realize at the time he had 2 weeks to live, but he's there. And I know him well. We're great friends, and I went in there, and I said, Jean, can I go in and talk to him? She said, sure. And he's laying there. It's kind of in and out, but I grabbed his hand and said, man, we've been buddies a long time. He goes, yeah, man. He said, thanks for everything. And I said, Ray, you're one of my best friends, but I have to ask you before you're no longer here. I got to ask you something. He goes, Brother Dave, you can ask me anything. I said, can I have your vet after you die?
Did he laugh?
He went,
oh.
Only you. Oh. He said, only you. And he started laughing.
That's good.
Because
as you said earlier, you knew each other.
We knew each other.
You knew that was going to be just fine.
Yeah, and
funny.
We had some laughs. We hugged. There's tears too. But that was it. You have to know him. Now, just in reverse, a buddy of mine goes in to see, this is all true. That's why I tell everything in the book's all true stories. People I interviewed. A buddy of mine goes to see his best friend in the hospital, just got his leg amputated to diabetes. Nothing funny about that.
Right.
He walks in. There's his buddy laying in bed with one leg. My friend walks in, Tim. He's crying. The guy laying in bed is laughing. He said, how can you laugh at a moment like this? He goes, how can I not laugh? Read that card somebody just sent me. He picked up the card, read, get well soon. I hope you get back up on your feet. Ooh. Crossed out feet and wrote foot.
Oh. Oh, God. You're going to make me cough and laugh. Oh, boy.
And
that's really amazing.
He said, how can you laugh at stuff like that? Yeah. You know what the guy with one leg said? He goes, how can I not laugh?
Yeah.
He said, I got it. That's how I choose to deal with it.
Right.
Just like Andy's dad.
Right.
That's how he chooses to deal with it.
Right.
And it is a conscious choice.
Yeah. You just have to laugh.
You know who also taught me that? I got invited to the real Patch Adams' house, the Robin Williams portrayed Patch.
Yeah.
The real Patch Adams invited me to his home.
Wow.
He heard about You Just Have to Laugh What We're Doing, and he invited me to his home, and he told me the same thing. He said, using humor and laughter is a conscious choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice you have to make. Once you make that choice, it's okay. Some people aren't going to get it. My mom didn't get it. My mom was dying, and she said, honey, I don't want to live anymore. I just don't want to live anymore. I'm miserable. I can't remember things. I just don't want to. She kept going. I said, Mom, please. I can't put a pillow over your head. I'll go to prison.
Oh, my God.
And she said,
Did you laugh?
She said, David, that's not funny. I said, Mom, that's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
And she said, well, it's you. I understand.
Oh. So that was her way of getting some of the humor. I love it.
But I knew her in doing that. But even before, but I knew her. My mom is, my mom was getting dementia, and she was suffering from it. Matter of fact, one time she saw me, didn't recognize me, and it terrified her.
Wow.
It was sad. And so I learned this from people in hospice. I said, Mom, how do you want me to approach this? Do you want me to introduce myself when you come? She goes, honey, would you? Of course, And so she called me, and Gary, with all the dementia and Alzheimer's, she could whoop my you-know-what in gin rummy every day
even to the
of
end.
the week.
That's amazing.
She calls me, and she said, honey, come on up. And I came up, and she said, they're going to give me some morphine and some other stuff, and so I may be gone in 4 days. And I said, I understand, Mom. Could you do me a favor? She goes, what's that? I said, could you have them double the doses? Well, I said, so maybe I could just beat you in gin rummy before you go. And she loved it, and she laughed because I knew her.
Yeah.
Now, here's the great thing. I have sadness when I think about my mom and dad dying.
Yeah.
But I also have that humorous moment that we shared.
Yeah.
And
that's what you need to take with you.
And I tell you what, Gary, that's one of the best laughs I ever got.
Yeah, you need to take that with you. That's amazing. I want to go back to the beginning of your life. I mean, were you a comedian when you're 5, 8, 10 years old? I mean, what happened that spawned this amazing journey you've been on?
Gary, I realized I had the ability to make people laugh. I wanted people to laugh.
Why?
I wanted to get them to laugh so they wouldn't laugh at me because I was fat.
Wow. So that was.
I went deep.
You literally
in there.
Did you think that way, or did it just happen?
It's completely on the. I realized that if I was making people laugh and doing that, they weren't making fun of me.
Right.
But I learned a skill,
Right.
and so I went on to be in my middle school, 7th, 8th, 9th grade class president. High school, sophomore, junior class president.
Wow.
Why? Because I got to go out and do Bill Cosby and Flip Wilson routines.
Oh my gosh!
So I got to make people laugh.
There you go.
My mom helped me write a joke in 1964.
Wow, when you were 2?
I was in the 7th grade.
Okay.
Here's the joke. I said, I'm not going to make you any campaign promises, but if the Beatles have a free night, I'll see what I can do.
Oh my gosh!
That's the jokes, and I'm 7th grade making and I'm getting them to laugh.
There you go.
When you get people to laugh, they like you. It draws you in.
Right.
When you get people to laugh, Bowen White taught me this, Dr. Bowen White. Laughter is the best social lubricant you can have. You get somebody to laugh, you share ideas, you're sharing this stuff.
Right.
All of a sudden now you have a connection that you wouldn't have. That's a value of humor and laughter.
You've got to feel good down 47 pounds. I mean, you've got to feel good about that.
Well, one of the greatest things, Gary, when you do that and, you show your biceps and do that, nobody can take that accomplishment away from you.
Right? You did it.
You have the accomplishment.
Yeah.
20 years you've been working out.
I know. I've been working out a long time, longer than that, but I've had this trainer, personal results for 20 years. He's been amazing. He keeps me. I had hernia surgery, and he's like, you got to get back in there. I'm like, you're going to make my hernia come back out. But
you
it never came back out, by the way.
I can make you laugh about bodybuilders.
Really?
Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ever notice the guys that are bodybuilders, when they're performing, they look like they're constipated?
Yeah.
Watch.
It's amazing. You can do that now.
Yeah, I can do that. I gotta go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have a podcast. It's called "You Just Have to Laugh," right?
You just have to laugh,
and
it focuses on how about how humor and laughter will help you get through a difficult time. But I added some things to that: humor, laughter, music, faith, and helping others.
Okay.
All those things, when you help others, all of a sudden you can get through the difficult things in life. Because we're all going through them. You're not getting out of it.
No.
You're not getting out of anything.
No, we're going to make it to the end.
You're going to make it to the end. And you know,
right. Might as well enjoy every day and laugh.
And that mortality rate, brother, is a steady 100%. Ain't nobody getting out of that one.
I know. It's true. So can we lose like 40 pounds right now and just laugh for 30 seconds?
You want to laugh for 30
Let's just
seconds?
one more time. I just don't you think. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe this, Ben? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. When I was 13 years old, I had size 13 feet.
You try that every day with your family, kids,
Oh my
whoever you're
gosh.
with, and you wake up every day, close the day off with that, you're going to sleep and live better.
All right. Hey, you just have to laugh. David Naster.
And don't forget, you just have to love.
Yeah.
Very important.
You know, if I can laugh and love, I'm good.
You won.
All right.
You won.
Let's all win in this game of life that we have.
Cheers.
All right, everyone. Once again, if you want to sponsor this podcast, go to contact Sandy Cohen, Sandy at 810WHB.com. Results, personal fitness. Yes, I'm proud, and I need to get stronger and bigger. That's what I'm going to do this year, right? And healthier.
You're going to get stronger and bigger?
Yeah.
You want to get bigger?
Well, I don't know. Do I not need to be?
No.
Okay.
No.
David, did you hear that?
You're a hunk of burning man right now, Gary Lezak.
Whoa. Thank you very much. All right. It's called The Forecast with Gary Lezak. And once again, sponsored by Results Personal Fitness, 135th and Metcalf. David Schlossman, Don, and all the guys over there. Thank you so much. And, hey, we'll see you next week. Laugh. And cough.